Don't bet all your money in one place because you might just lose a lot of your net worth if you rely on a certain reality. Hi, I'm Stacey Taylor and today I'm counting down the top 10 celebrities who are surprisingly poor. So what would you spend your money on if you had $1 million? And let us know in the comments below. Coming number 10, we have Amber Heard. A lot has gone down since Amber Heard spent a lot of money on legal fees during her high-profile legal battles with her ex-husband, Johnny Depp. Before, Amber's career started off slow, but once she was married to Johnny Depp, she was starting to become a household name. She was actually on the verge of becoming a huge star in Hollywood after gaining traction thanks to her roles in the films such as Justice League and Aquaman. However, after Amber had a really dramatic split from her ex-husband Johnny Depp in 2016, it seems like her bank account took a serious hit. It all started when Johnny first agreed to pay Amber $7 million as part of their initial divorce settlement, and she vowed to donate it. However, in 2021, the media then started to run with reports that claimed Amber didn't donate the money she promised she would. Her legal team would then defend her lack of actions made towards her by suggesting she had spent millions of dollars defending his accusations against her. Then jump to last year, Amber Heard would then be left to fork over $10 million in total following her highly publicized defamation suit case against Johnny Depp, which makes Amber currently worth negative $6 million. Number 9, Tyga. Back in 2015, Tyga would find himself being sued yet again over unpaid rent, which was worth a whopping $16,000 a month. And this wouldn't be the first time the rapper would find himself in a sticky situation, as in the past, he has even been ordered to pay around $80,000 in back rent to another landlord in the same neighborhood. Now, the Sunshine rapper is heading back to court because he has been skipping out on his court order payments for his Lamborghini and Bentley. Tyga apparently owes $481,000 for both cars because he needed to pay for both of the cars in interest, and he brought his debt to a total of $1.3 million. However, according to the Celebrity Net Worth, Tyga does have a net worth of $7 million despite being no stranger to lawsuits over missed payments and even tax issues. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming number 8, Kanye West. To say Kanye is poor would be an overstatement. However, the rapper did end up losing over $1 billion after he lost top brands such as Adidas, Gap, and the disgraced fashion house Balenciaga when they terminated their relationship over his controversial comments. He would also head himself towards a divorce with Kim Kardashian, where Kim would receive $1 million per year she was married to him, and she would also remain on Kanye's life insurance policy, which is valued around $20 million for the rest of her life. Kanye would also be ordered to pay Kim $200,000 a month. He is also responsible for 50% of his children's educational expenses, security expenses, and medical expenses, which doesn't leave Kanye in a good position as he lost majority of his fortune in just a blink of an eye. Number 7, 50 Cent. 50 Cent can arguably be one of the best rappers or one of the worst rappers that emerged out of the 90s. In 2015, 50 Cent had reportedly been in debt with $32.5 million as he was caught up in lawsuits and unpaid child support payments. The next year, he would then declare bankruptcy. Back in 2018, reports would then emerge. In them, it would be reported that 50 Cent was a millionaire again thanks to having $700 he was reportedly paid in on his 2014 album. However, then documents would state that that statement wasn't true, which left everyone wondering how much money he was actually worth because he's never owned any bitcoins. Number 6, Sugar Ray Williams. In the late 1970s throughout the mid-1980s, Williams was captain of the New York Knicks and played for the Boston Celtics 1985 finals team. But in 2010, the Boston Globe then reported that Williams was now sleeping in the back seat of his 1992 Buick in Palmano Beach, Florida. In interviews, Williams would then go on to say that he believes the NBA should be doing better when it comes to taking care of their retired players, as he is one of many former stars in need of assistance. In the interview, he would then go on to note, "Who I played the game. They always talk about loyalty to the team. Well, where's the loyalty and compassion for ex-players who are hurting. We open the door for the guys whose salaries are through the roof. As during a course of Williams' career, he blew over $2 million that he made in contracts during his career, which leads to the overall questions: do agencies like the Legends Foundation or the NBA Retired Players Association need to do more to help people like Williams, even though they've already given him grants that total around $12,000? Or did his coaches, teachers, and mentors all just fail him? Number 5. Natasha Lyonne. Orange is the New Black actor Natasha Lyonne was all over the big screen in the 90s and in films such as But I'm a Cheerleader, Slums of Beverly Hill, and American Pie. Her promising career was derailed after a series of encounters with law, but back in 2001 the actor would be arrested for driving under the influence, and in 2004 she would be charged with mischief, trespassing, and harassment of a neighbor and the neighbor's dog. These incidents were then followed by a 2005 hospitalization for a variety of ailments. She eventually was even evicted from a friend's townhouse and ended up on the streets. Since, Natasha has been trying to revitalize her career in acting by taking on roles in shows such as Orange is the New Black, Law & Order, and she's also appeared in an off-Broadway play called Tigers Be Still. Number 4. Brett Butler. In August 2021, it would be reported that former Grace Under Fire star Brett Butler had fallen under hard times when she became the recent subject of a GoFundMe fundraiser started by a friend, despite having made over $250,000 for an episode for her 1990s hit ABC comedy series. Brett would then tell The Hollywood Reporter that she was 6 months behind on her rent, and she was worried that she may have waited too long to allow her friends to launch a GoFundMe. While the star felt ashamed to start up the GoFundMe page to begin with, she knew she needed to enlist in help as she had been struggling to live with the pressure. 5 years after the show Grace Under Fire was cancelled, she would opt to become sober. Brett has also stated she ended up in her current predicament because of bad financial decisions, threat by people she trusted, and being unable to work. Number 3. MC Hammer. At one point in time, MC Hammer was known for his legitimate hit, You Can't Touch This, but it seems like the star then became only a one-hit wonder. After MC Hammer debuted his track, he would soon have around $30 million in his bank account. Thanks to his success, Hammer was also able to buy himself a $1 million mansion, and that he made over $30 million worth of adjustments, and he staffed 200 people in his home. He also brought a horse stable where he kept 19 race horses. Combined with his unrestrained spending and numerous lawsuits, Hammer declared bankruptcy in 1996 while he was reportedly $13 million in debt. In 2011, he then went on Oprah Winfrey's show to talk about spending most of his days in California, Silicon Valley, and being loosely involved with about 8 companies. Then for a brief period of time, he was also on tour in 2019. Number 2. Nicolas Cage. At one point in Nicolas Cage's life, he was one of Hollywood's biggest stars as he earned himself around $40 million alone in 2009. However, he then became one of Hollywood's biggest spenders, as he splurged pretty much all his money on things such as horses, automobiles, and rare artifacts. His precarious style then led him to sell many of his personal belongings, including a treasured comic book. And while many would stop there, Nicolas would then go on to spend a lot of his money on old artifacts such as a dinosaur skull, a collection of shrunken heads, and a couple of castles being in Germany and in the UK. Eventually, the National Treasure actor spent his entire fortune on $150 million on some of the most bizarre things. Despite working in Hollywood since 1982, he eventually ended up in debt after he spent majority of his money on some pretty insane things. Then, by 2006, Nicolas became so overwhelmed in debt that he owed the Internal Revenue Service a mega $6.3 million. By the age of 40, he then spent enough money to make himself broke, and then he started to shift his blame on his accountant and said he was sending him down a path of financial ruin. And coming in number 1 today, we have Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman was known for being a great rebounder and teammate of robbed Michael Jordan for becoming an eccentric celebrity. Outside of sports, Rodman would then become known due to his short marriage with Carmen Electra, and eventually became an unofficial US ambassador for North Korea. Back in 2012, Rodman's lawyers said he could barely afford living expenses and he couldn't even pay his child support. At the time, he reportedly owed over $800,000 in back child support, but in court documents, his lawyer said he was broke and sick. Back in 2019, he would be accused of stealing a 400-pound amethyst crystal from a yoga studio, as well as more than $500 worth of clothing from brand like Spiritual Gangster and Lululemon. He then denied the allegations that were being held against him and said the merchandise was a given gift. Not to mention, he also famously kicked a cameraman in 1997 and was fined $200,000 while being suspended for 11 games. The incident would then cost him $1 million in earnings. Well, that's it for this video, my little peaches. Until the next one, remember to stay juicy.